Man, good morning. Shout out to my people, man. It's about time. I had to make some adjustments, man. But we here. We here. What's going on? Shout out to my people. Shout out to Bobby Yeye Imperial Vision, man. He doing his thing. So that's what I was watching, man. I was watching Bobby Yeye Imperial Vision. I said, man, I'll let this brother cook for a minute before I go in. See, what I wanted to do was fire up this live stream after him. I didn't even know he was gonna go live around this time, right? I didn't even know. But every time Bobby Yeye goes in or drops a live stream, should I say, I tap in. You know, I listen to what the brother has to say. Very intelligent, street savvy, all wrapped in one. So yeah, man, I was just watching my bro's podcast, man, and he was talking about pretty much the same thing that I'm talking about, man. He's 10 toes down for the people. If anybody's 10 toes down for the people, it would be Bobby Yeye, Imperial Vision. So yeah, he's a real one. So tap in with him. He could talk about street stuff, he could talk about political stuff, he could talk about revolutionary things, and it's a mixture of a lot of things. So channels like mine's and his should be at the top of podcasters when it comes to the black community, especially in this Los Angeles black sector. Because yes, now he dives into the street politics a little bit more than I do. You know, I speak on the street element, but at the same time, mine's is like more political, you know, and he gives you a mixture of both. And that's what I can respect about my man's Bobby Yeye, man. He's connected to the streets, but he's also connected to his blackness. I'm connected to the streets, but I'm also connected to my blackness. I don't put gang banging ahead of my race. I don't put street ideologies or street philosophies ahead of my race. That's counterproductive. Shout out to my people that's in the chat. I appreciate you, Mo Better. I appreciate you. Appreciate you for the love and support, loved one. Shout out to all my kin folks out there, man. Are you guys ready for this? Now, I did a video. I did a video on this dude. Maybe like, was it yesterday? No, it was Wednesday. I did a video about this guy Wednesday, and he called us to. I'm gonna wait to the 5 minute mark because sometimes when you say things before the 5 minute mark, they'll penalize you, right? So what we're gonna do is, as soon as we get into the 5 minute mark, we're gonna dive right into the conversation. Oh yeah, oh yeah. But this dude right here blamed another Mexican podcaster for exposing him. So he said, and Slugs is the guy, man. Shout out to Slugs for clipping that and posting it on YouTube. He said that Slugs was a traitor to the raza. Why would you expose another Mexican, the raza? You did it to impress black people. That's wrong, they say. Now, this is what this guy said. So check it out. It's not Slug's fault for posting the video. It's your fault for saying what you said about black folks in the video. See, if you don't say things out of pocket, then nobody's going to be in a position to expose you for the things you say. If you're not out of pocket, as long as you stay in pocket and you're not out of pocket, then you ain't got to worry about being exposed. As the story goes on, but he wants to blame a fellow Mexican podcaster for exposing him for calling us what the a black bug, and I think you guys already know what it is. Right. Like, why would you expose me, Vato? So in this whole video, he didn't apologize to the black community. And then again, we don't want his apology because that's how he truly feels. So He doesn't need to apologize for calling us out of our name because that's truly how he feels. So he needs to just stand on business when it comes to that. You know, I don't want no fake apology. See, the difference between me and a lot of people in our community, I don't want no fake apology. I don't want it. I saw hood stories last night, man, before I went to sleep. I think Chris sent me that video. Shout out to Chris, man. My man Chris, he be in the comments. He got a wrench on his channel. He sent me the video last night and I watched it. So no, homie, I don't want no fake apology. Don't want it. Stand on business. It is what it is. That's how you really feel, and that's cool. At least we know what it is. Eric Rodriguez said Mexicans disrespect blacks and then themselves by saying the N-word, but they'll wake up. Hey man, I appreciate you for the comment. That makes a whole lot of sense. Now let's get into this video right here. He called us mayates, but he blames another Mexican podcaster for exposing him. He blames another Mexican podcaster for exposing him. Hey, Slugs, that was wrong for exposing me, Vato. You're a traitor to the raza. You're a traitor to the raza. You're pandering to the blacks. All right, check it out.
I had. Thank you very much. Okay, so I think I seen 3 different people put out a clip. Okay. My video's still out there, the video that I put out. Yes, I did clip my video because little did I know
I heard that. I don't know why 16 to life would say that. Now, I don't have a problem with you. And I didn't listen to the whole video. But we gotta stop. We gotta stop handling these people with kid gloves, man. We gotta come up here and just speak the facts. I don't care if I offend you because I'm speaking the truth. Now, if I come up here and I lie about something, then you have the right to call me out for being a liar. But I haven't lied about one thing, right? So let's get back to the content. This dude right here called us mayates, and now he's mad at a fellow Mexican podcaster for exposing him because guess what? He said it, just stand on it. If you say something, you shouldn't be mad at somebody for speaking on it, because if you said it, then it's already on social media, it's already on the internet. What's the point of being mad at Slugs? I mean, Slugs didn't force you to call us mayates.
said the word that they put out me saying. I did say it. Little that I put.
But he did. This is what he said. He said, I did say it. What he's telling you, yeah, I did call blacks mayates. I said it. But Slugs is wrong for exposing it. So he's telling you that, hey, man, I'm going to stand on business. I call black mayates. I said it. Because that's how he truly feels. He's from East Los Angeles. This is what's crazy. You got Mexican gangs in Los Angeles who don't even live around black people. And for some reason, those are the most racist Mexicans you can find in LA, like Mexicans in La Puente, El Monte, East LA, Northeast LA. These are some of the most racist Mexicans in the city, and they don't even live around black people. So racism has to be embedded in your culture for you to have hatred for a group of people that you don't even have to live around. You don't even have to live around black people. So that anti-blackness, that hatred is embedded in your culture. I told you about the Spanish conquistadors and how they brainwashed Latinos to feel a certain way about people with melanated skin. This is why the LULAC organization fought to be white, legally white. John J. Herrera of the LULAC organization said that Mexicans belong to the Caucasian race. They wanted to assimilate to whiteness. Assimilating to whiteness, they felt like assimilating to whiteness would give them better opportunities in this country. So that's what the Mexican civil rights leaders did, the guys who were running the LULAC organization, John J. Herrera, Alex Tejera, people like that. So if your civil rights leaders fought to be white, then Now we understand why Southern California Mexicans link up with Aryan brothers and white supremacists in prison. Their civil rights leaders wanted to assimilate to whiteness. So this is a part of their ideology. This is a part of their culture. Anyway, I'm gonna quit talking and I'm gonna let you hear what this guy had to say. I'm gonna let you hear what he had to say. He said, "I'm gonna stand on business." I did say it, but at the same time, I'm mad at my fellow Mexican for exposing it. Let me be quiet. I know I can be long-winded sometimes.
Okay, so I think I seen 3 different people put out a clip. Okay. My video's still out there, the video that I put out. Yes, I did clip my video because little did I know I had said that the word that they put out me saying. I did say it. I was doing a video that I was in the best of spirits. I was kind of pissed off, and I was letting off some heat, and I didn't even realize that I had what I had said until my subscribers explained to me, "Hey, you better go back and listen to your video. I don't think that's a good idea to put it out like that. That somebody's gonna clip it." There was only like 9 views on that video at that.
So he uses the word mayate so much, he didn't even realize that he said it. Why? Because that word rolls off of his tongue naturally. So his fans had to tell him, "Hey, man, you should take that out, man." He said it without even realizing it. Why? Because this is how he talks. This is how he truly feels. The word mayate rolls off of his tongue so easy. It's a part of his vernacular. He'd been saying it for decades. So much to the point to where he didn't even realize he said it. His fans had to tell him, "Hey, man, you need to clip that out." But before he did it, somebody clipped the video and uploaded the clip. Shout out to Slurs for uploading the clip.
That time, I can listen to your video. I don't think that's a good idea to put it out like that. That somebody's gonna clip it. There was only like 9 views on that video at that time. So I went over, I went to the spot where it was at, and I still didn't hear that word. I took that piece off just because it said that it made it sound like I was supporting this guy Marvelous. No, I wasn't supporting him. Okay, when I said I went up behind him, it was that after he had spoke and I heard what they had, the blacks had said on their video. I did a video trying to put the fire out, the things that they were rebutting, okay, rebutting. Anyways, you know what trips me out is that Slugs and some other channel had the word rat in the title. That's a good name, you know. And yeah, I expect this kind of activity from Slugs. He actually clipped it in that short a time, or one of his people that was out here trolling on my podcast clipped it, and now everybody's trying to blow it out of proportion.
No, we're not blowing it out of proportion. That's what you said. You can't say that people are blowing it out of proportion when we're just responding to what you actually said. This old guy never makes sense. It's like he just talks to talk. This is the same guy who said that Sporty Face should pull up to somebody else's event looking for a fight. If I pull up to your event looking for a fight, I'm at a major disadvantage. That makes no sense. So we already know he's not working with a full deck. So we're blowing it out of we're blowing this thing out of proportion. But in reality, we're just responding to what you actually said. It'd be one thing if somebody lied on you. No, I clipped the video. Matter of fact, I used the video that Slugs posted. You said it. Verbatim, you called us mayates. So no, we're not blowing this out of proportion. We're just holding you accountable for what you said.
And now everybody's trying to blow it out of proportion. that was out here trolling on my podcast clipped it, and now everybody's trying to blow it out of proportion. Like the way Slugs made it sound, honestly, it sounds like he was talking to, I'm not going to say the ops, but he was talking to people that have been against us for the past couple of weeks, telling them, hey, look, this guy said something too, look. You know? Man, the lengths we go. Look, even if you try to pull me down with all of your little videos, all the mamadas that you talk about, Slugs, that's not going to help your channel. You know, your views suck for the most part. All right. Oh, so you got 10,000 subscribers. It only matters if they're watching, if they're participating. But all of that, like clipping that, you've seen that I didn't put it out of my video. I took it out of respect, even though people told me, hey, homie, just leave it like that. It's not this, you know, after everything that has been said and done, you should just leave it and shoot it like that. Okay. But I went ahead and I clipped it, just trying to be cool. You know what I'm saying? And then you have these Mexicans, I guess, you know, that's your get down. I expect it from you, Slugs. I know that you came from an SNY yard and you probably picked up some mañas over there. I don't know, you know. There's a lot of things about you that I'm not even going to talk about. I'm not going to get into. That's my opinion, okay, about you. But man, you do some shoddy ass shit, you know. And this Rat Vision or whatever, that's a good name for your podcast. You know, you go out there and clip a piece of video that I did.
You're just mad because he exposed you. I mean, you said it. So if you said it, just stand on it. You can't get mad at somebody for posting something that you actually said. It'd be one thing if Slugs lied on you. Nah, bro. He clipped your video and he showed us when you said, hey, blacks, these mayates and da-da-da-da. If you didn't want to be called out for it, you should have never said it. Now, I get it. You felt like Slugs is a Mexican. So by Slugs being a Mexican, he should have never exposed you. You feel betrayed. I get it.
Podcast, you know, you go out there and clip a piece of video that I didn't put out and run with it. You know, that's some weak telling shit. You know, you guys should rub some. I'm not even gonna say it, man. But you know, I could see if you guys were brothers, yeah, acting up maybe for what I said. But you guys are Mexicans, man. Why would you do that? You guys are the ones that put that out there. You are the ones that are being disrespectful and putting that shit on social media. You're being disrespectful to the blacks. I took it out.
How you gonna say he's being disrespectful to the blacks for posting what you actually said? Slugs didn't call us mayates, you did. I never heard Slugs being disrespectful to black people. You're just mad that he posted a clip of you calling black folks mayates. You can't flip it and make it seem like Slugs is disrespectful to blacks. You the one that called us a racial slur, not Slugs. This dude is crazy. Something is wrong with this fool. His logic is twisted.
Took it out. I didn't put it out there, even though I was advised to put it out there by some advised me, don't let it roll like.
He's blaming the person for exposing it, but he's not holding himself accountable for saying it. Nobody forced you to call us a racial slur, Lucky. Nobody forced you to say that. You want to be mad at the person who clipped the video instead of holding yourself accountable for what you actually said. Now you mad at your fellow Mexican. Anyway, man, let's move on. This is hilarious.
And putting that shit on social media. You're being disrespectful to the blacks. I took it out. I took it out. I didn't put it out there, even though I was advised to put it out there by some. Some advised me, don't let it roll like that. You know, but you the one that put that shit out on social media. Because if you go to my video, which is still out there, I took all those parts out. So, you know, I didn't have to do that, but I did it. You know, just to appease those few people that were made unhappy by it. You know, and for the pedo that I thought it might cause down the line. You know, but hey, it is what it is. There's this other dude, man. Look, all of that, they're still talking about, oh, yeah, Lucky was there with 100 of his homies. Look, there was just over 20 guys standing in that picture. Maybe 25. Count them. But no, he was there with 100 people. And those were people that were part of the event that, you know, didn't you hear what he said? From Orange County to LA, people from all over the place were down there.
Listen, it's dumb to pull up to somebody's event looking for a fade. When Sporty Face said, "Hey man, we could meet up in a neutral place. It ain't got to be in my hood. It ain't got to be your hood. It ain't got to be at my event. It ain't got to be at your event. Let's do it in a neutral place." Sporty Face didn't know how many people was out there. How would he know how many people is going to be out there? Now, if this is your event, I'm going to assume that there's going to be a lot of people out there, either your homies or people that's affiliated with you. Doesn't matter if they're from your hood. If they're at your event, they're going to back you up regardless. So why would I pull up to somebody's event looking for problems when Sporty Face clearly said we can do this in a neutral spot? It makes no sense for Sporty Face to pull up to somebody's event looking for problems. This old dude doesn't think clear. Something is wrong with his brain.
You know, that were part of the event that, you know, didn't you hear what he said? From Orange County to LA, people from all over the place were down there. You know, those weren't all people from his neighborhood, but people twist things and make it fit into.
They didn't have to be from his neighborhood. Those are people, his associates, his homies from his hood. These are people who gonna rock with him. Why would I pull up to somebody's event when I know they're gonna have homeboys from their hood or their associates, people that they're affiliated with? I'm not gonna pull up to somebody's event looking for trouble. Clearly, the best thing to do was, and listen, I'm not even saying Sporty Face and Lucky need to catch a fade, because I think we're already past that. So I'm not promoting violence. I'm not promoting drama. I'm not. But what I'm saying is this: it makes no sense for Sporty Face to pull up to somebody's event looking for problems. Now, if they were listen, anyway, let's move on. This dude is crazy.
There's scenarios, you know. Oh, Sporty Face, he didn't do anything wrong by not showing up. Yeah, he should have showed up. He was talking all that masa. You know, he wanted the business. He should have showed up. And like Lucky had said, hey, you come with love, I'll show you some love. You come with some bullshit, pretty much, I'll meet you with the same energy you come with. What else can?
And shout out to the Mexicans, man. I had a lot of Mexicans who hit me up who say they don't agree with this, and I know, man. So I'm not throwing all Mexicans under the bus. That's not what I'm doing, because a lot of you guys have reached out and say, man, we don't agree with this. We understand where you guys are coming from, right? And shout out to you guys. So I'm not throwing everybody in the same category as Lucky. You know, I'm not, right? But it makes no sense for anybody to pull up to somebody's event looking for problems. That's not the way that you take care of business. You know, let's keep it respectful. I'm not even saying that Sporty Face and Lucky from Hood Stocks even need to take a fade. I'm not promoting that. But if there was going to be a fade, then do it in a neutral spot. Why pull up to somebody's event looking for problems? That makes no sense. I think we're already past this, man. Lucky said what he said. Sporty Face said what he said. I'm just addressing the bigger issue. You got a lot of guys, unfortunately, there's a lot of guys from the Chicano community in Los Angeles with the same mindset as Lucky from Matavia, and maybe even the same mindset as Lucky from Hoodstocks. Now, is Lucky from Hoodstocks racist? This is why. Let me tell you something before I get back to it. This is what made it seem like he had a personal issue. This is why. This whole thing started from Jenny 6ix9ine sitting on Blueface lap. That's where this whole thing stems from. So Lucky from Hoodstocks brings a Mexican chick, a Chicana, on his podcast, and he asks her, "Hey, do you like black guys? Do you date black guys?" She says no. He should have left it at that. But instead of leaving it at that, he said, "Why not? Why not? Why you don't like blacks? Why not?" And she said, Pino Code Trece, basically saying like, I'm down with the Trece, the 13. So it'd be off code for me to be with a black man because it's Pino Code Su Trece. So basically, she was saying that she's on code with her Mexican La Raza, right? Then he goes on to say, "Well, if you did date black guys, I would be disappointed. I would be disappointed," right? So when you listen to the interview, it's like he was trying to bait her to say something negative. He asked her, "Well, why not? You don't date black guys. Why not?" She didn't even want to leave a comment. She just said, "Hey, man, I'm gonna keep it short. Penal code Trece. That's it." So she kept it respectful, and she was just saying, "I'm on code with my people. That's why." But it's like Lucky from Hoodstocks was fishing. Instead of him just saying, "Okay, you don't date black guys, cool. Next question." Instead of going to the next question, he kept digging and digging, hoping that she would say something. And then when she said, "Well, Pino Suco Trece," he said, "See, this is why you're on my podcast. This is why you're on my podcast." Yeah, that's right. But if you did date black guys, I'll be disappointed. This whole thing stems from Jenny 6ix9ine sitting on Blueface lap. He asked her, Lucky from Hoodstock said, "Do you find Blueface attractive? Would you date him? Would you date a black guy?" He was baiting her. And every time she would say things to try to move the conversation forward, she didn't even want, you can tell the Mexican chick didn't even want to engage in that conversation like that. She was trying to move on to the next question, the next subject. Lucky from Hoodstocks kept baiting her because he was disappointed off of the fact that Jenny 6ix9ine was sitting on Blueface lap. You can tell by the way he was talking. Anyway, let's get back to the comments. But all this nonsense stems from this Mexican Latina chick sitting on Blueface's lap. And a lot of people in the Mexican community were pretty pissed off about the fact that Jenny 6ix9ine, who's a sex symbol for the Mexican community, they was pissed off that she was twerking on Blueface's lap. That's where all this nonsense stems from. Let's keep it a stack.
And we do to a and like look at said, hey, you come with love, I'll show you some love. You come with some bullshit, pretty much I'll meet you with the same energy you come with. What else can we do to appease you people? And really it doesn't matter because you're just gonna twist it around and then call us beaners and wetbacks and that's good that they're deporting your families. They should deport all of you. This and that, and this is our land, not your land, and this and man, you guys don't even know this was Mexico before. This was a part of Mexico.
California was only Mexico for 27 years, bro. It was something else before it was Mexico. I believe California from 1822 to 1848 or 1849. That's when Cali was Mexico. So California was under Mexico rule for 27 years. It was only Cali was only a part of Mexico for 27 years. Let's be real. Prior to that, the Spanish ruled California. Prior to that, it was a home of many indigenous tribes, different indigenous tribes. I told you, native people, not all native people look the same. There were different tribes of natives on this land. Some of them were dark melanated, some of them were red skinned. or whatever you want to call it. Just like when you go to Africa, not everybody in Africa looks the same. There's different languages, different tribes, different phenotypes, different skin complexions. Africa is a continent, same thing as America. If you go to Africa right now, there's different countries where people look different and talk different, different cultures, different languages. It was the same thing here in the Americas. So when you say this was Mexico, yeah, it was Mexico for 27 years. And let me take it a step further. If California was still under Mexico's rule, you wouldn't want to live there. This is why so many Mexicans are fleeing Mexico by the millions. I'll say it again. If California was still under Mexico's rule, which it was only under Mexico's rule for 27 years, but if it was still under Mexico's rule, you wouldn't want to live here and your people wouldn't want to live here. You would be fleeing to the next state. Let's keep it a stat.
And that's good that they're deporting your families. They should deport all of you. They get this and that, and this is our land, not your land, and this and man, you guys don't even know this was Mexico before. This was a part of Mexico. My people didn't.
California was Mexico from 1821 to 1848. From 1821 to 1848, that's when California was a part of Mexico. Prior to that, the Spanish was running it. And prior to the Spanish running it, different indigenous tribes were in California. It wasn't just one group of people. So let's get it straight. It was Mexico from 1821 to 1848. That was only 27 years, homie. And prior to that, somebody else owned it. Prior to the Spaniards owning it, the natives owned it. So if you want to say Cali was Mexico, you sound crazy. That's like me saying I sold this car, but now I want to talk about that used to be my car. It's not my car anymore. I sold it. So I can't brag about something that used to be mine. It's kind of like gang warfare. If you go to war with one Vadio, it's Vadio and Vadio B. Let's say this one Vadio takes over this territory. You can't say that used to be my hood. That used to be your hood. It ain't your hood no more. Another Vadio has taken over that hood. So what's the purpose in talking about something that used to be yours, but it's not yours anymore? California was Mexico for 27 years. Big deal. You wouldn't want to live there if Cali was still under Mexico's rules. If Cali was still under Mexico's rule, then most Mexicans wouldn't even want to live there. If California was still owned by Mexico, that's just the honest to God truth, bro.
Cross borders. The borders cross them. But that's that. You guys cool. Your land and this and man, you guys don't even know this was Mexico before. This was a part of Mexico. My people didn't cross borders. The borders crossed them. But that's that. You guys think what you want, believe what you want. I'm really not caring anymore. I'm really not. At this point, man, I give up. I shouldn't have to try so hard.
Spain ruled California before it became Mexico. See, let me educate you people. Prior to 1821, because keep in mind, California was Mexico from 1821 to 1848. Prior to Mexico owning California, the Spanish owned California. That's why it has Spanish names, because the Spanish people, and these were European. Keep in mind, Spain is Europe. Spain is in Europe. Spanish is a European language. Let me say that again. Spanish is a European language. That is a white man's language. Before the Mexicans owned California, Spanish people owned California. Before Spain owned California, indigenous people ran California. So the indigenous people had it first, then Spain took over, then it became Mexico in 1821 to 1848. I'm giving you guys a history lesson. So Mexico ruled California for only 27 years. Only 27 years. You can't do too much. Listen, you can't develop a country or a land in 27 years. It's going to take time to develop land. 27 years is not enough. So think about it. Mexicans didn't do too much to Cali. They only had 27 years. After that, America took over, the United States took over, and California is a powerhouse because of the United States. Mexico did nothing with California when they had it. Nothing. It was a ghost town. It was a ghost land. There was no development. There was no infrastructure when Mexico ruled California.
I got my own people. You told somebody something one time. I told a dude that was from a neighborhood down here. He went and he told somebody from up north what I had said. And I still hold it against them, you know. But you slugs, you're a baboso. Everything right away. Oh, well, they. If that's the case, they should just go and run the fade. Run the fade. Shut up, that's it. You're too old for that. You have two beautiful kids and a wife, and you talk about we should run the fade, run the fade. You say you don't care about that life. Yeah, that's what you're presenting, dude. Relax, rest your neck, and stop telling on Chicanos and Raza. You know, I don't know what benefit you got.
How was Slugs telling on you? All he did was post something that you said. See, telling is when you bring information forward that nobody knows about. You can't say that Slugs is telling on you when all he did was post something that you actually said. This Vato isn't too smart. This Vato isn't too bright, especially to be a veterano. You got to be smarter than that as a Chicano, as a veterano. Where's your cojones? Stand on business. Slugs didn't snitch on you, Vato. All Slugs did was repost something that you said in the video. It said, you said it in the video. It said, no, Slugs is no snitch, Holmes. Nah, Holmes. Slugs is no snitch, that said. He reposted something that you said. Snitching is when you expose something that nobody knows about. You can't call it snitching when you can't call it snitching when he just reposted something that you said. Those words came out of your mouth. Oh, he's snitching, essay? Nah.
You have two beautiful kids and a wife, and you talk about we should run the fade, run the fade. You say you don't care about that life. Yeah, that's what you're presenting, dude. Relax, rest your neck, and stop telling on Chicanos and Raza. You know, I don't know what benefit you got out of that, besides looking like a traitor, dude. Why would you do that? I put my video out clean. You're the one that posted that part of the video. You and the other people. So miss me with all your little mamadas and all your crying and sniveling. You know, you don't like it, too bad. Put it that way. It is what it is. You know, I didn't put that shit out. I cleaned my video up. Anyway, it's my video for the day, people. Man, this is ridiculous, man. My plan was to come out here and wish everybody happy holidays and this and that. But you know what, man? I feel betrayed by my own raza, by my own subscribers. You know.
So you feel betrayed. You said it. When you say something, you got to stand on it. I feel betrayed by my own raza, my own subscribers. I feel betrayed by my Mexican people, Holmes. What are you talking about? It's said. Come on, Holmes. Chale, Holmes. These Vato slugs, he reposted something that you said, Vato. That's not snitching, Holmes. Come on, ese. Chale, Holmes. These Vato. Where's your chicon? Where's your cojones, Vato? Nobody snitched on you, Holmes. All Slugs did was repost something that came out of your mouth, Vato. Come on, that's it. Stand on business, Holmes. Stand up for the Chicano people. If you said it, Holmes. Stand on it. Come on, Vato.
People that come on and watch me and listen to my videos and stuff went ahead and clipped that so quickly and ran with it.
See, he's mad that people clipped it. Listen, homie, Lucky, you should have never said it, man. Once you say something is on the internet, you can't be mad at somebody for clipping something that came out of your mouth. They clipped something that came out of your mouth. It'd be one thing if Slugs lied on you and made up something that you never said, but that's not what happened. The man reposted something that you said.
And listen to I feel betrayed by my own raza, by my own subscribers, by my own. You know what, man? I feel betrayed by my own raza, by my own subscribers. You know, people that come on and watch me and listen to my videos and stuff went ahead and clipped that so quickly and ran with it. Serio? That's the way the raza is getting down now. It's more than watered down, man. You know, you guys are boo boo. You know, you people who do shit like that. Vale verga, man. You guys, come on. You know, but like I said, you know, you put it out there. I don't care. Do what you got to do. Run with it. I don't care. You know, I did my part. That's all I can do. You know, if somebody don't like it, hey, it is what it is. You know, I don't have control what other people put out on social media in my name. I know you want the views. You're hoping to catch some views. Yeah, go ahead, man. But do it right, man. Don't do it like a little girl snitching. Oh, look what lucky he went there. And then you're in your thumbnail.
You can't call it snitching, man. This vato isn't too bright. It said, come on, vato, where's your cojones? You can't blame Slugs for what you said about the black community, fool. Come on, that's it, Charlie. That's not snitching, Holmes. Snitching is when you expose something that nobody knows. Slugs reposted something that you said. You did a video essay. That's not snitching, vato. If I say something on the internet right now and somebody reposts it, I can't say that they're snitching. I already posted this stuff to the internet, so it's not snitching. When you post something to the internet, you make it public. So if you made this video public, you can't say that Slugs is snitching. You expose yourself. You have no one to blame but yourself, vato. Come on, that's it. Come on, Holmes. Take accountability, vato. Where's your cojones? Stop calling Slugs a snitch. It's not right, S.A.
Oh, lucky got caught. Man, knock it off, fool. 9 people were on. He went there. And then you're in your thumbnail. Oh, lucky got caught. Man, yeah, in my name. I know you want the views. You're hoping to catch some views. Yeah, go ahead, man. But do it right, man. Don't do it like a little girl snitching. Oh, look what lucky he went there. And then you're in your thumbnail. Oh, lucky got caught. Man, knock it off, fool. 9 people were on there, man, and I know which 9 people were watching at that time. You know, that's some straight dirtbag movidas. But go ahead, man. You know, if that's what all this means to you, go ahead. I don't care. You know, what came out must have came out for a reason. You know, because I'm tired of hearing all the things about the raza, all the put downs, all in the windows, and all the straight out disrespect. You know, so like Lucky said, hey, he'll take responsibility and for what he said, but on the other side has to do the same, man. They gotta knock all that off. We don't want to hear it either. You know, and that'll be the last time that I edit a video, because it seems it don't matter. You know, you get flack anyways. You know. Anyways, my video.
So what he said is, he said, if I call blacks mayates again, I'm not going to take it down. I'm just going to keep it up because you guys are going to be pissed anyway. Yeah. So what he said is he's not going to be apologetic. He's not going to take it down. He's just going to leave it what it is because black people are going to be pissed with him regardless. Blacks are going to be pissed regardless. So if I say something racial about blacks, I'll just keep it up. Say it doesn't matter. You blacks are never satisfied. You blacks are never satisfied, fool. I took it down out of respect. You blacks are still not satisfied. Slugs, slugs. Hey, Vato, you snitch like a little girl. You're a traitor to the raza. You pander to the black community. You're a traitor to the raza. Shame on you slugs for snitching like a little girl, Vato. You tattletale like a little girl, let's say. Shame on you, slugs. Nah, homie. All slugs did was repost something that you said. You expose yourself. Snitching is when you bring forth information that nobody knows about. That's snitching. When you say something on a public platform and somebody repost it, you can't call that snitching, Vato. That's not snitching. You already posted it to social media. You said it. Stand on it. And I guess he is standing on it because he said next time if he say something racist, he's not going to take it down. He'll just leave it up. Why take it down? Black's still going to be pissed with me anyway.
On the other side has to do the same, man. They got to knock all the put downs, all in the windows, and all the straight out disrespect, you know? So, like Lucky said, hey, he'll take responsibility and for what he said, but on the other side has to do the same, man. They got to knock all that off. We don't want to hear it either, you know? And that'll be the last time that I edit a video because it seems it don't matter, you know. You get flack anyways, you know. Anyway, it's my video for the day, people. Yeah, you know. Anyways, what I have to say, I'll tell you another time. I can't talk about it right now, but just keep praying for Levi, please. Stay free. Hope to see you in the next video. Gracias.
Now, hold on, watch this. Watch this. Now, this is Slugs right here. Slugs exposed the video the other day. And shout out to Slugs, man. Slugs is a respectable vato, man. And shout out to Slugs, man. It's all good. I want y'all to hear what Slugs had to say about.
I don't care. He was saying that he was just playing around. He didn't
Now,
take it as being.
Now this is Slugs right here, man. Slugs didn't do anything wrong. The OG is mad at Slugs for, I guess, reposting the video. Now, I want you guys to listen to the video in totality. Slugs wasn't being disrespectful at all. Now, I want you to hear it for yourself. Make sure that you guys bless the like button. It ain't nothing. King Supreme, support the stream in a major way. You dig.
We already seen the situation with Lucky from Hood Stocks. And man, it got crazy. It got crazy. A lot of content creators were reacting to what he said. He was saying that he was just playing around. He didn't take it as being as saying it with the bad intentions, right? That's him. That's what he feels, and that's what it goes, right? He eventually ended up apologizing. A lot of people didn't take his apology because of whatever reason, and it is what it is. At least the guy did what he had to do and done. Done issue. Now, I always say one thing, man. As a content creator, you have to be responsible with what you say and how you say it, right? The type of content you're gonna put on your channel, that's on you, man. That's on you because at the end of the day, it's your channel, right? But you have to always understand what you're gonna say. And on this occasion, man, I believe that Cali Legends Media messed up big time. He had made a video prior in where he was trying to teach the meaning of the word, uh, I believe it was nigga. I mean, but he got it confused, and eventually people start clipping that thing and put it out there and stuff like that. But going from that point to this point, I want you to listen to this clip.
Your your ignorance out on social media. I Another thing, I went out and I got behind you when you went and talked to the Mayates because they had the impression that you were representing somebody, and you don't represent.
So he said he had your back when you were speaking to the Mayates. I mean, this is how Lucky really feels. I mean, listen, man, there's nothing to be in, we're not outraged about it. This is who you really are. This is the truth. Just stand on business. You don't like the Mayates. We get it. You don't like the Mayates. Fine. There's no need to give an apology. You dislike the Mayates. That's cool. We get it.
Your ignorance out on social media. I Another thing, I went out and I got behind you when you went and talked to the Mayates because they had the impression that you were representing somebody.
Now, when he said the Mayates, he was talking about the Viral Way podcast. He said, oh, and he's speaking about Marvelous Inc. Now, Marvelous Inc., if you don't know who Marvelous Inc. is, I did a video about Marvelous Inc. because Marvelous Inc. pulled up to the Viral Way podcast. Shout out to my brothers out there in Long Beach, the Viral Way podcast. Marvelous Inc., a Chicano from Matavilla, East Los Angeles, the Matavilla gang. He had a conversation with the Viral Way podcast about all this controversy surrounding the Black and brown community, right? And he's saying that, hey, man, I was with you when you were speaking to the Mayates. Why did you tell the Mayates you're speaking for the raza? You speak for yourself. You cannot speak for the raza. Now, this is why the Chicano, Mexicano community abandoned Marvelous Inc. Marvelous Inc. is a 43-year-old man. Marvelous Inc. does tattoos. Marvelous Inc. calls himself a historian. So some females, some hyenas, and when I say hyenas, I'm talking about, Mexican women. There's some beautiful, fine Mexican women. I will say, I know some of them. I grew up with them in Los Angeles. Shout out to the hyenas. But let me get back to the subject. Some hyenas came over Marvelous Inc.'s house to get some tattoos. One of the girls was 16. She was 16. Marvelous Inc. liked what he saw. She was developed, and I seen her myself. She looks like she could pass for 20. Now, to keep it a buck, the female, she could pass for at least 20, 21. But she was 16. She just happened to have boom, pow, ping, curves in the right places. But she was a minor. She was 16. Now, Marvelous Inc. claimed that he didn't know. He said that she had a fake ID. Marvelous Inc. is a 43-year-old man. She's 16. He smashed her. He hit it raw. He impregnated her. And the raza, the Chicanos in East Los Angeles, they abandoned Marvelous Inc. They said, oh, nah, Charlie, this fool is a chomo. You can no longer run with the vatos. Marvelous Inc. is a chomo. Serio ese. Hey, vato. Serio. Charlie ese. Marvelous Inc. is no longer down with the vario. He's a chomo. In Marvelous Inc. defense, he said, listen, she came over with a fake ID. She was looking good. One thing led to another. I gave her a tattoo. I smashed her. I hit it raw. I impregnated her, but I was under the impression that she was 21. I didn't know that she was 16. Now, I don't know if you guys believe Marvelous Inc. or not. Now, let me know if you believe Marvelous Inc. He smashed her. He hit it raw. He impregnated her. He's a 43-year-old man and she's only 16. And now the Mexican community is saying he's a chomo. He can no longer speak for the raza. Marvelous cannot speak for the raza. That vato he's a chomo. Hey, Holmes, that vato is a chomo. He's no longer welcome in the raza community, vato.
You don't represent your ignorance out on social media. another thing, I went out and I got behind you when you went and talked to the Mayates because they had the impression.
He said he had your back when you were speaking to the Mayates. Now, you know that Marvelous Inc. was considered a chomo. The Raza said this. The black community said nothing. The Chicanos, the Mexicanos, the Raza called this vato a chomo. Serio, fool. Hey, dog, this fool is a chomo, vato. He can no longer speak for the Raza. That's what you guys said. But then Cali Hood Legends goes on to say, I had your back when you were speaking to the Mayates. But you can't go to Viral Way podcast speaking for the Raza. Right?
From that point to this point, I want you to listen to this clip.
Your ignorance out on social media. Another thing, I went out and I got behind you when you went and talked to the Mayates because they had the impression that you were representing somebody. And you don't represent nobody, homie, but yourself. You know, and you should have made that clear to them. You should have said, hey, man, I'm not talking for nobody, representing nobody. This is just my opinion. You know? So what I did was try to go slip up behind you, try to put fires out. Because I heard what you said and I heard what they said after you left. So you got everything all twisted and all.
All right. So how that came about, right? I believe he possibly took that off his video because when I went over there trying to look for it, it was taken out. I believe people were telling him in the comment section to take it out. But how do we go to this point, right? It seems like Lucky had been having.
So if you never seen the Marvelous Inc., I'm going to show you the clip. I'm going to get into the clip. I'm going to let Slugs finish his video. Shout out to Slugs for doing this thing. Shout out to this vato right here, Slugs. Much love, homie. Now, I'm going to show you the video where Marvelous Inc. pulled up to the Viral Way podcast. Lucky, see, think about it. You got Lucky from Hoodstocks is the guy that called us the African Booty Scratchers. Then you have Lucky from Eastside Matavia, which is the OG, the old man, the guy with the gray hair, the OG. He said, oh, you went to the Viral Way, you spoke to these Mayates. I had your back, but then you cannot speak for the Raza, ese serio. You speak for yourself, Holmes. You can no longer speak for the Raza. You went up there speaking to the Mayates as if you speak for the Raza, and that's not true, Holmes. So that's why Lucky, the OG, the old guy with the gray hair, was pissed off at Marvelous Inc. because he felt like Marvelous Inc. went to the Viral Way podcast, which are brothers out of Long Beach. You went to the Viral Way podcast acting as if you speak for the Raza when you don't speak for the Raza. The Raza has got rid of you because you banged that 16-year-old chick, Vato. You smashed her. You hit it raw. You impregnated her. You're a chomo. You can no longer speak for the Raza community. You went up there speaking to the Mayates.
Issue with somebody from his neighborhood or somebody who was from his neighborhood. Don't know. It's not my business. I don't care. You know, but because of this, it's an ongoing issue for the past year, right? It came down.
You cannot speak for the Raza. You went to speak to the Mayates. All right, Vato, we get it. That's how you feel. It is what it is, man.
To somebody's going to somebody's house, knocking on the door. The other person didn't open the door, and it's been video after video or in live after live talking about one another. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are like, man, you just get down already. You know, I mean, you guys used to live like close by, and to bring your neighborhood issues to the internet, it does not give a good look, in my opinion, right? My opinion, that's it. You know, other people might think different, but it's just my opinion. So apparently this other guy by the name of Marvelous went to a live stream with the Black Podcast, I believe. You know what I mean? Which, to be honest, I see those two guys like kind of ignorant in my own thought. You know what I mean? Because of what they're saying. But anyways, it is what it is. But they were having an argument. They were going back and forward. And honestly, it was not the best decision of Marvelous to go to this live and give attention to a channel like that, that spreads a lot of negativity. You know what I mean? You have
Well, this is where we disagree, Slugs. Now, I never heard you say that. The Viral Way podcast is not spreading negativity. They're exposing the anti-blackness coming from the Raza community. That's not spreading negativity. They're just exposing the anti-blackness that comes from your community. So the Viral Way podcast is no way or no shape or form are they spreading negativity. They're spreading awareness to the people about the anti-blackness that is coming from the Mexicano Chicano community. Come on, Holmes, let's keep it a stack. Shout out to the Viral Way podcast.
understand, man. There's gonna be, and I have seen a lot of black channels to spread negativity towards Mexicans. 100%, man. 100%. I cannot say that I haven't seen that. I mean, and
see, the reason why I'm not mad at Slugs because Slugs is trying his best to keep to maintain balance. He's just wrong about a few things. Now, the fact that he posted Lucky from Cali Hood Legends calling us mayates, that shows that he's not being biased because he didn't have to post that at all. He could have pretended like it never happened, but he reposted it to show everybody how Lucky truly feels about the black community. So I don't have to agree with everything that Slugs say. Overall, I think Slugs is a pretty decent guy. I don't have no problem with Slugs. It is what it is.
this guy, when people were trying to make it seem like he was a representative of a certain group of Southern California, right? So Lucky, of course, did a video and basically put it out there that, hey man, he's not he don't represent nobody except himself. You know what I mean? Which, in all honesty, he's making a valid point. You know what I mean? He's making a valid point. Like, I mean, if you're gonna go over there, you can only speak for yourself, man. It's not like what you're saying is what it goes. You know what I mean? As content creators, we just represent ourselves. We're not part of no group, man. And we're right here on our own, and we're doing our content. And when we jump to a certain life, we speak for what we think, right? We give our opinion, but does not mean that everybody's gonna share our opinion or everybody's gonna go with our opinion. You know what I mean? It's point blank, simple as that. But anyways, that's what happened. It seems like Marvelous did a live stream and where he was talking about that, and Cali Legends Media couldn't wait to put a video out there, and he slipped and say that word. You know, Cali Legends Media had a recent slipped, maybe, I don't know, like 8 months ago. I caught it, didn't say nothing about it, but there's other content creators who did clip on it. I guess it was like a meaning or the history on the word nigga, right? That's basically what he was trying to explain, but in a way, he said it how he was basically saying it came from he was saying it not as nigga, but actually as a ER. Again, I don't think his intentions were malicious in a way. One thing we have to understand as human beings is that there's going to be individuals with bad intentions on the black community, on the white, on the Hispanic, on the Asians. There's always going to be individuals with bad intentions, right? And certain people grew up saying certain things, and even though we don't might not say that anymore, sometimes people can slip when we talk without thinking. And
well, at least he kept it balanced. He said you got people on all sides that are going to say crazy things, and this is why I don't have a problem with Slugs. You know, I don't have to agree with everything he says to have respect for what he does. So, you know, I think he's trying his best to keep it fair and balanced because he's the one that posted the video of this old school vato calling blacks mayate. Slugs didn't have to post that video, but he posted the video to say, hey, this is wrong. You should have never did that. So Slugs decided to hold his people accountable. Slugs decided to hold his people accountable, and now this Vato is calling him a snitch for holding him accountable. That's not snitching. If Slugs repost a video of something that you put on social media, that's not snitching. Anytime you post something to social media, that is public information. Snitching is when you expose something that nobody knows about.
Those actions that we do, those mistakes, can bring consequences in our life. So always be aware of what you're speaking. Right now, I feel like there's a lot of issues going on YouTube, and now we have another Hispanic raza content creator making a comment like this, and in all reality, man, we have to be better than that. Yeah, I mean, if the black community, or not the community, my bad.
I speak on this stuff because I am from Los Angeles, California. I'm from the west side of South LA. I grew up in South LA, Mid City District, all of that, bro. You see what I'm saying? I grew up on Western Avenue, homie. I grew up on Arlington. I grew up on Crenshaw. I grew up on Normandy. You know what I mean? My grandmother lived on, Normandy and 29th. Well, Van Buren, like right before you get to Jefferson. So as kids, we would ride our bikes to the 32nd Street Market, the Village right there. You know, the Village right there, the 32nd Street Market, where you could watch the movies, and it's right across the street from USC on Jefferson. Yeah, homie. So I'm born and raised in Los Angeles, so I've experienced this. I experienced these things firsthand. I'm not going off of what I heard on the internet. I lived it. I've experienced it. I grew up with Mexicans. I grew up with Southsiders. So I know what it is. This is firsthand information. I've done time with Mexicans. I've been in the streets with them, and I've done time with Mexicans. The first time I went to the county jail, I was 19 years old, bro. I was 19 years old when I went to the county, and when I went to the county jail, that's when I really seen what it really. Now I've seen a lot of racism on the streets, but at the age of 19, when I went to the county jail, that's where I seen the real separation and division between black and brown. Keep in mind, I've been to Los Angeles County Jail, I've been to San Bernardino County Jail, I've been to Riverside County Jail. Right. And I've experienced all this stuff in my early 20s. So I seen how Mexicans programmed and behind the walls and things and how it really goes behind the walls. So I got experience with this when it comes to jail. I got experience with this when it comes to interacting with them in the streets. This is firsthand information. You know what I'm saying? I know I grew up around vatos from different barrios, harpies, MS-13, mid-city stoners, crazy riders, vato locos, Clanton 14s, Barrio St. Andrews, just to name a few. So I grew up around the vatos. I know what it is. I know how they operate in the streets. I know how they operate in prison. I know how they operate in county jail. I'm speaking from my experience growing up in Los Angeles in the 90s. I'm an 80s baby, so I was a teenager in the 90s. When the real race wars was going on in the 90s, I was there. You did. Let's get back to it, though.
If certain podcasts or certain black YouTubers want to act in a certain way, man, that's them, man. They have to, how you say it? They have to they have to live with that. I mean, that's on them. If that's the type of negativity they want to surround themselves with, that's on them. Eventually, something's gonna happen, and where somebody's gonna take it to that level, and never know, man. Never know what might happen, But as us, as me personally, not because I see this individual talking bad about my people, means that I'm gonna do the same, right? Because two wrongs does not make a.
All right, now let's get into I want to show you the viral way clip where, you know, Let's get into the viral way clip.
Ain't that what I just said? Yeah, look, he running now. Exactly.
Now, this is Marvelous Inc. right here. The guy we were just talking about. This is Marvelous Inc.
You feel me? So at the end of the day, we got to start. What is it like in your part? Difference, and I've been out LA. You know what I'm saying? California, all that shit. Lived in South Central when I was like 16.
And this is fair use, man. We're gonna keep the language clean. And this is Marvelous Inc. I know who Marvelous Inc. is because it is what it is. Now you're gonna see Marvelous Inc. and the old guy, Lucky. They're from the same barrio. Marvelous Inc. is from East Side Matavilla in East LA. The OG, the old Mexican dude, he's from Matavilla. So he denounced Marvelous Inc., saying that he ain't from the barrio, he don't speak for the raza, because these ain't my words. This is what the Mexican community is saying. They're saying that Marvelous is a chomo because he impregnated that 16-year-old girl as a 43-year-old man. Not my words. This is coming from the raza, his own community, his own barrio.
But listen, there's a lot of Hispanics out in the Northeast. They not like Mexicans and the Hispanics in the Northeast is two different types of Hispanics, mostly Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, shit like that. They have a different type of culture. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of the aggression that you see towards Hispanics in the West Coast, you don't see that because of the numbers. It's very tremendously different than what it is in LA County. You feel what I'm saying? You got to realize black people are the majority down there in Chicago and in Philadelphia.
Chicago, Philly, Baltimore. Marvelous. What's the deal?
What's up, Viral Ray?
This is Marvelous right here with the bald head. You know, the Matavillas, the Chicano community say he don't speak for the Chicano community because he's a chomo for impregnating that 16-year-old girl. Marvelous Inc.'s defense, he said she had a fake ID. She looked grown. I've seen her myself. She does look grown. Let me say this to you guys. I saw the girl that he impregnated. She does look grown. She had big breasts. She had nice curves and everything. So if she had a fake ID, you would believe that she was 20 or 21. It's believable because she was developed. So in Marvelous defense, and I'm not here to defend anyone, I'm just going to keep it a stack all across the board. She does look like a grown woman. She was 16 or 17. He hit it raw. He gave her a tattoo, hit it raw, impregnated her. So he said, hey, man, she gave me a fake ID. I gave her a tattoo. I didn't know that she was 16 or 17. I didn't know. Now, do you believe him? Let me know if you believe Marvelous Inc. Do you guys believe that Marvelous Inc. knew that this woman was underage, or do you believe that she tricked him with that fake ID? Give me your thoughts in the comments. But this is Marvelous Inc. right here.
Okay, so let's address this issue correctly, right? And get down to the bottom, because what all you guys are doing, right? And this is as podcasters, not as a racial thing, is bringing gang shit into the equation, and it has nothing to do with that, dog. First of all, the dude that made that statement isn't Mexicano. So for you guys to bring up Mexicans or Hispanics or Latino as a whole as in a racial divide, that's false. You should not do that, but address that man as a man and let him deal.
Question.
Go ahead.
Is he a Southsider?
That doesn't matter. That's where you're bringing it into
It
gang.
does matter if he's a Southsider because he's speaking for Southsiders. His podcast represents Southsiders. He said, my podcast is to represent Southsiders, Mexicanos, Chicanos, Reños. That's what Lucky from Hoodstock said, vato. So you can't say that he doesn't speak for Southsiders. He is half Mexican. He's half Mexican and he's half European. Lucky is half Mexican and half, so you can't say that he's not raza. When he rides with the raza, he's a Southsider or a Sereno. I don't know either one. But Marvelous Inc. is trying to make it seem like he's not Mexicano. He's half Mexican and he rides with a Mexican Southsider gang. So you can't say that he don't speak for Mexicans when, for the most part, that's what he represents on his podcast. Pseudo Putrese.
Equations.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you why it matters. Because if he a Southsider, the South
And get down to the bottom, because what all you guys are doing, right? And this is as podcasters, not as a racial thing, is bringing gang shit into the equation, and it has nothing to do with that, dog. First of all, the dude that made that statement isn't Mexicano. So for you guys to bring up Mexicans or Hispanics or Latino as a whole as in a racial divide, that's false. You should not do that, but address that man as a man and
Okay.
and
Let me ask
let
you
him
one
deal.
question.
Go ahead.
Is he a
Shout out to Cyberdyne for the Cash App. Shout out to Scoop for the Cash App. We got 800 plus people rocking, 800 plus people watching. Let's get some more of my foundational Black Americans to support the Cash App and support this broadcast, because I speak for you guys, man, every chance I get. So show some love and support. Bless the like button and subscribe to the channel. You know.
outsider?
And oh yeah, shout out to everybody who has blessed the super chat. Let's get some more of you people to show that major love for some of this valuable content. News that you can use. Here to blow out your fuse first thing in the morning, man. King Supreme.
That doesn't matter. That's where you're bringing it into gang equations.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you why it matters. Because if he a Southsider, the Southsider program is notoriously anti-black. That's why when he asked, no, listen, bro.
Go ahead.
When he asked the female, "Do you like black men? Do you date black men?" She said no. He said, "Why?" She said, "It's against the program." What's the program she talking about?
That's their
That's
fault.
That's anti.
And that's their fault. That's their fault and their ideology on what they think it is. But the real thing is there's a program and business, right? We all know about politics, and which I'm not going to get into about. That has to do with politics, homie, not the street or podcasting as an individual. That has nothing to do with it, dog. So whether he's a Southsider or not, and whether people want to back his play as a Southsider, you're calling out a whole car, homie. That's what you're doing.
You know
If
why?
you say something, let me say one more thing, homie. If you say something disrespectful about me or whatever, I'm not gonna go diss all the blacks and say, hey, every black person is that way, because they're not. I got a lot of black homies from different hoods that show nothing but love and respect. They handle themselves cordially, and you know how to conduct. You've been to prison, homie. You know how to conduct yourself with respect. You look a man in his eyes and you deal with that man accordingly.
You shouldn't have to go to prison to learn how to be a man, to learn how to operate with respect. It shouldn't take you going to prison to learn that. But I guess if you didn't grow up with a father, then you go to prison where you got to learn something. And the only reason why people abide by those rules in prison, because they're going to be met by the threat of violence if they don't conform to what's going on behind those walls. So they're only doing it because of the threat of violence. The real thing to do is to learn how to conduct yourself as a man so that you ain't got to go to prison. Why? Like it's sad, but this is the unfortunate reality. A lot of people got to go to prison before they learn how to respect the next man or other groups of people. It shouldn't take you to go to prison to learn something simple as respect. But unfortunately, a lot of our people got to go to prison before they learn this. That's the unfortunate reality.
Not as a whole car out here. This isn't the prison out here, homie.
Nah, this the difference.
If you say something disrespectful, their fault and their ideology on what they think it is. But the real thing is there's a program and business, right? We all know about politics, and which I'm not going to get into about. That has to do with politics, homie, not the street or podcasting as an individual. That has nothing to do with it, dog. So whether he's a Southsider or not, and whether people want to back his play as a Southsider, you're calling out a whole car, homie. That's what you're doing.
You know
If
why?
you say something, let me say one more thing, homie. If you say something disrespectful about me or whatever, I'm not gonna go diss all the blacks and say, hey, every black person is that way, because they're not. I got a lot of black homies from different hoods that show nothing but love and respect. They handle themselves cordially, and you know how to conduct. You've been to prison, homie. You know how to conduct yourself with respect. You look a man in his eyes and you deal with that man accordingly. Not as a whole car out here. This isn't the prison out here, homie.
Nah, this the difference. If he does what he does in prison, his car deals with him before the blacks even got to say anything. So if you want to keep it respectful in that terms, that needs to go on the streets too, because he's representing your whole faction when you on this internet. The same way I get on the internet, I'm from a neighborhood too. So if I do some shit that's out of whack with the neighborhood, regardless of if I think I'm just representing for me or speaking for me. Nah, it's bigger than the program. I'm a black representative, period. If I get on here and I start saying, man, fuck Mexicans, woo woo, and that could lead to a war in the street, guess what? The blacks have to hold me accountable and be like, nah, nigga, you tripping.
Hold on, and viral. Hey, let me reply to
like, oh, that's just viral. We gonna get viral. No, they gonna start saying, man, fuck the blacks. It's on with the blacks.
let me reply to his statement though.
Accountable, bro. We can't
Let me
just
reply
say,
to
oh, it's that one man. Nah, bro, we gotta hold each other accountable.
no, but viral at the same time, it wasn't just him. It was a whole group of them up there, and you let old boy call in on the same type of fuck.
Because we were slaves too, and we're both slaves.
Don't take offense. If it don't apply, let it fly. This is to the ones calling us mayates and all this shit. And I don't even care about them. It's when you try to get involved in black culture, like you want to call us this and that, but then you want to rap. You want to say you don't fuck with black.
Let me tell. All right, look it. Let me tell all you guys something about that. Okay, you want to bring up rap and how Mexicanos cling to you dudes and all this and that, right? And you want to talk about your captivity and all this and that. We were the first ones to go under captivity. If you know your history, we were the first ones to go under captivity. So you can miss me with all that slave shit because we were slaves too, and we're both slaves together now in this country.
That's false.
That is not false.
That's false,
You don't
bro.
know your history, bro. I teach history.
No, I'm gonna tell you why it's false.
We said Mexicanos were the first to go under captivity. All right, man. I don't even want to talk about slavery, man. I just want to talk about what's going on now in recent times. We can have a conversation about slavery in a whole nother video, in a whole nother live stream. What he's saying is, why disrespect black people when you're rapping and acting and talking like them? If you look at the way that young Mexicans rap today, is black. You got Mexican dudes from La Puente rapping like black people, dressing like black people, but they call black people N-words and mayates. That doesn't make any sense. It's like you're imitating the same people you hate. That is crazy. That's like me saying, as a black person, I can't stand Nazis and white supremacists, but I'm a dress, talk, and act like them. But I have disdain and dislike for them. That I would look crazy for that. So what he's saying is, a lot of Mexicans don't like black people, but they want to dress, talk, and act like black people and make rap music. Like I said it before, and I say it again. Hip hop comes from black culture. It don't come from Latino culture. If you listen to some of those early hip hop records, they were sampling oldies. Hip hop comes from the music that we created prior to hip hop. Jazz, funk, blues. Hip hop is a mixture of all those different genres in one. Hip hop comes from the oldies that foundational black Americans created. So don't get it twisted for 1 second. Hip hop is a foundational black American creation, 100%. There's no co-founders. There's no none of that. If you listen to the music that Latinos created historically, we've never listened to their music. We've never been influenced by music that Latinos made. That's just the reality. There's no need to get pissed off. I'm just telling you the truth. But Latinos have always been influenced by our music. Jazz, Motown, R&B, the Smokey Robinsons, the James Browns, the Isley Brothers, George Clinton, funk music. You know what I mean? And Bobby Womack. You dig what I'm saying? And the list goes on. I can go on and on about the black musicians that paved the way for hip hop. Because if you listen to hip hop music back in the 70s, they sampled the oldies. You dig? Latino music has never influenced urban culture. Black music that foundational black Americans made, that has always influenced culture. Let me tell you something. Music influences culture. Let me repeat this for people who are too slow. Music influences culture. Whoever dominates the music influences the culture. That is a known fact. Some of you people ain't educated. You're not educated. You're not educated to even understand that. Not all of you, but a large percentage of you. Music influences culture. That is a fact. And foundational Black Americans have always dominated music, because if you go back to jazz, blues, rock and roll, country, R&B, disco, house music, funk music, all of that was created by foundational Black Americans. White people stole rock and roll and white people stole country music. This is why we're going so hard over hip hop, because people are always trying to steal what we created, and we're not going to stand for it. This is why FBA been standing on business. Hip hop and rap is a foundational Black American creation, 100%. No co-founders.
Black people,
Man, most black people ain't even from
on
Africa,
the planet
bro.
before
Thank you,
Hispanics
bro.
was a race, and we was
No,
already
bro.
raping each other.
Our lineage
The
goes
whole rap.
farther back than
Listen,
anybody else's lineage.
the whole
Listen, listen, hold on.
the whole
Can I
rap
respond
and
to
hip
something
hop
real quick?
industry is based off of poetry, bro, and telling your story of captivity, homie, and the trials and
No,
tribulations
that
that you're
ain't.
going
That ain't.
through.
Okay,
That
let me
ain't.
Okay,
ask you
That
this
ain't
one
we
what
question.
the
both
Hold on, hold
go
on.
through
poet is.
those
Let me ask
trials
him
and
this one
tribulations.
question.
Go
We
ahead.
were
Let me
both
ask
Go
him a
on some
ahead.
question.
shit. You can't argue with me,
Hold on,
homie.
one mic,
You
No,
one
no,
can't
I
mic,
just
argue.
want to ask you a question, bro. I just
one
want
mic.
to ask
Go
you
ahead.
one question.
Go ahead. Go
Hey,
ahead.
but hold on. That ain't.
I'm
Hold
just
on.
gonna
That
ask
ain't
him one
what hip.
thing, bro.
That ain't.
Hold on,
How
don't
That
many
yell
ain't
at
black
what
us.
hip
men?
hop.
One mic,
I
That
just
one
ain't
want to
mic.
what
ask
hip
him one
hop is.
thing, bro. How many black guys did you see doing mariachi music and shitting on Hispanic culture? None.
How many
All
what?
right, Caleb. How
How
many
many?
black people do you see doing mariachi music that's shitting on the Hispanic culture? None. But we see Hispanics doing black culture, but shitting on us as a people, though.
And then another thing.
That's a good point. You don't see black people. Shout out to Nikisha for blessing us with a cash app. Shout out to Lions Dollars for blessing us with a cash app. I appreciate all my brothers and sisters for supporting this podcast. You understand? And it's just a known fact. I can show you videos of foundational Black Americans back in the 30s and the 40s breakdancing, rhyming over beats. So if you study the elements of hip hop, and if you look at the music that foundational Black Americans created prior to hip hop, you will see that we was already doing hip hop. We just put a label on it in the 70s. Don't get it twisted for 1 second. We was already doing hip hop. It just like in the 70s, we just put a label on it, but that was something that we were already doing. We was already breakdancing. You can't show me no videos of Latinos doing breakdance moves in the 30s and the 40s. I can show you several videos right now of Black people breakdancing on the floor in the 1930s and 40s. So the Black people who migrated to New York took their culture with them. Just like Puerto Ricans and Latinos, when they went to New York, they took their culture with them, right? Foundational Black Americans who lived in the Bronx created hip hop. Hip hop was not created by just Bronx people. Foundational Black Americans who lived in the Bronx put a label on it and stamped it and called it hip hop. Hip hop comes from FBA culture. If you study our music prior to hip hop, you will see exactly where this music and culture comes from. Hands down, there's no argument. Latinos participated in hip hop, but they are not the creators of hip hop. Participation and creation, those are totally different things. Those things are totally different. Latinos participated in hip hop, but they had nothing to do with the creation of it. Those of us with common sense know the truth. Those of us who are operating in facts and truth will say, yeah, that's 100% correct. Latinos was making mariachi and salsa music. Show me the music that Latinos created in the 50s and 60s, and I'll show you the music that foundational Black Americans created in the 50s and 60s. Then you will see where hip hop comes from. That's not even an argument. That's not even up for debate at this point. Listen, the jazz musicians in the 1930s who came from Harlem, New York, the Harlem Renaissance era, they made zoot suits popular. So Central Avenue in Los Angeles is a place where all your jazz musicians would perform in the 1920s and the 1930s. Dane Calloway now. The Mexicans were influenced by the jazz musicians and they created this Pachuco culture. But the Mexicans who were zoot suits got their influence from the jazz musicians because I said it before and I say it again, music influences culture. The Black jazz musicians that was popular in the 30s influenced everybody. That's why everybody started rocking the zoot suits. That's where the Pachucos came from in the Mexican community in Los Angeles. They were heavily influenced by the jazz musicians in the 1930s, just like Mexicans today are heavily influenced by black rappers and blacks who make hip hop because music influences culture. The same thing in the 1930s, the same thing now in the 2020s. History has a way of repeating itself. Mexicans in the 30s were influenced by the jazz musicians who wore zoot suits. So Mexicans created Pachuco culture. Look at what's going on now. Mexicans in hip hop, they're influenced by black rappers. They dress like rap, they dress like black people, they talk like, they even rap like black people. History has a way of repeating itself, homie.
Out captivity.
Go
We
ahead.
started a culture in the inner city, the Bronx, New York, to be exact. Yeah, there
Go ahead.
was some people of like Jamaican descent, but they had Black American influence because that's where they were raised.
The
So
Jamaicans
Black
even
culture
copied the Black Americans, like
started
DJ
telling
Disco
our
Mario.
stories. We started telling our stories via rap. It caught fire. It went worldwide. Every culture is now a part of it, but don't get it misconstrued. That is still Black culture that they're a part of. We can't change the
Right.
history.
Look at,
like
let me tell,
mariachi
let me
music.
explain something because
That's all.
you just said what I said right now. They were telling the story, right? Through dance, music, and song, right?
Yeah, but it was the Black American experience. This wasn't
What is
something
black? Is Puerto Rican black? Is Colombian black?
Yeah, they're black, but they're not foundational black Americans. Foundational black Americans are different than Africans, are different than black Caribbeans. Foundational black American in the United States, we have a unique culture. We're not the same as Africans. Our experiences and the cultures are completely different. Let me show you this clip right here. We was already breakdancing way before Puerto Ricans even moved in our neighborhoods. Way before we lived around any Latinos, this is what we were doing. This was back in the 20s and 30s, bro. You see that? We was dancing like this in the 20s and 30s. I'm showing you. That's what I'm saying. Like, come on, man. Latinos was not doing this in the 20s and 30s. We was already breakdancing and rhyming way before we came in contact with these people. I'm giving you the receipts. The music we made, the way that we danced, we were already doing this prior to any contact with them. We was already doing this. This is a part of FBA culture. Come on, man. Like, it's undeniable, bro. It's undeniable. And these videos come from the 1920s and 30s, man. Like, stop it. Please stop it.
Black is cute. Cubano.
They have Black in their history.
Listen,
Yeah.
y'all was telling y'all
Man,
story.
you're so caught up on the
Nobody
word
wanted
black.
to copy
That's
that,
what keeps
bro.
you.
We
That's
was
what
breakdancing and rhyming way before we came in contact with Latinos, bruh. This is not even up for debate. There's no argument. This is a dead conversation. Hip hop is a foundational Black American creation, 100%. No co-founders, man. What are you smoking?
keeps you in
Nobody
your little
wanted to
box.
copy that. We
You're
did
so
it
caught up on that
I'm gonna
word.
keep it G. I'm not caught up on the word. What I'm caught up on is anything that we create, no one wants to give us the utmost credit for it. It's like, yeah, y'all telling our stories. We started telling our stories via rap. It caught fire. It went worldwide. Every culture is now a part of it, but don't get it misconstrued. That is still Black culture that they're a part of. We can't change the history.
Look at,
like mariachi
let me
music.
explain something because
That's all.
you just said what I said right now. They were telling the story, right? Through dance, music, and song, right?
Yeah, but
Latinos wasn't rapping and rhyming. They wasn't dancing on the floor in the 1920s. Let me say something to take it a step further. If you go back in a time machine, right, and if think about the music that Latinos Think about Latinos, right? And the music their parents listened to in their household, the music that came from their culture. Nobody wanted to listen to that stuff. Latinos couldn't come outside in the 1950s and 60s and play the music that their parents listened to. Nobody wanted to hear it. But in the 1950s and 60s, if foundational Black Americans came outside playing the music that we created, the whole world rocked to it. The whole world rocked with it. Because our music as foundational Black Americans has always influenced culture. Nobody wanted to listen to no Latino music. I'm sorry, bro. If Mexicans or Latinos came outside playing the music that their parents listened to in their households, nobody would want to hear that. We would say, man, turn that off. Nobody listened to that besides Latinos. The music that foundational Black Americans created, everybody worldwide embraced the music that we created. Everybody's influenced by the music that we create as FBA. That's the major difference. Let's be real. Latinos, I'm talking about Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, El Salvadorians, the music they grew up listening to, the music that came from their culture had no urban influence. Black people never listened to the music. Black people never listened to music that came from Latino culture. We've never been influenced by it. But on the other hand, Latinos have always been influenced by the music we make, whether it's jazz, whether it's R&B, whether it's Motown, Smokey Robinson, the Isley Brothers, Marvin Gaye. They've always been influenced by our music. They've always been influenced by the Ohio Players, George Clinton, funk music. Our music has always influenced the whole world, not the other way around. This is not even up for debate.
It was the Black American experience. This wasn't
What is
something
black?
that
Is Puerto Rican black? Is Colombian black? Is Cubano black?
they had black in their history.
Listen,
Yeah.
y'all was telling y'all
Man,
story.
you're so caught up on the word black. That's what keeps you. That's what keeps you in your little box. You're so caught up on that
I'm gonna
word.
keep it G. I'm not caught up on the word. What I'm caught up on is
Let me drop the link, man. If anybody, like I said, I appreciate everybody for pulling up, man, to this podcast today, man. But I had to just set the record straight, man, because people tend to lie about history, man. And everybody wants to be a part of hip hop so bad to the point where they're willing to lie about history. And we have all the receipts to prove that we were doing this stuff prior to any contact with Latinos. This music has always been a part of our culture as foundational Black Americans. This is just a known fact. You can't tell somebody what's not rap and hip hop. Rap and hip hop was created by foundational Black Americans. So don't come up here trying to tell me what rap and hip hop is. You don't qualify to have that conversation.
anything that we create, no one wants to give us the utmost credit for it. It's like, yeah, y'all
Let me
created it, but we like it. So
let me
we
tell you something though. This is what you're not. This is what you're not understanding, bro.
Anything that
Viral,
y'all create, we give y'all the credit. Like,
viral. Check it out. Check it out. Viral.
Black people ain't never been influenced by Latinos musically. That is a bold-faced lie. Never, ever has that ever been a factor. We've never listened. You didn't see Black people in the 60s and 70s riding around listening to Latin music, but you seen white people, Latinos, everybody riding around listening to Black music. Whoever dominates music controls the culture. Music influences culture. So whoever dominates music influences the culture, and that's foundational Black Americans 100%.
Check it out. Let me say this one thing because I gotta start my show. But let me say one thing, bro. Let me say one thing. This isn't something that you started. This is both of our stories of captivity that we're expressing through music and dance.
You see how this colonizer tried to say this is not just, it is our story. Hip hop don't come from no Mexican Latino culture. This dude is a culture vulture. Study history. Look at the music that Latinos made prior to hip hop. Then you look at the music that foundational Black Americans made prior to hip hop. Come on, homie. That's not even a conversation. It's a dead giveaway, man. Like, come on, stop it. Hip hop is not hip hop. It belongs to us. We created it. Now, if you want to talk about white people who own the corporations and companies and these record labels, that's one thing. We're talking about the creators of the culture, the creators of the music. Foundational Black Americans, hands down. Latinos had nothing to do with the creation of hip hop. Latinos participated in hip hop, but they had nothing to do with the creation of it.
What I'm caught up on is anything that we create, no one wants to give us the utmost credit for it. It's like, yeah, y'all
Let me
created
They
it,
try
but
to
we
take
liked it,
credit for
so
let
it.
me
we
They
tell
try
you
to
supported
something
it.
take
though.
credit for
This
it.
is what
Anything
you're
that
not. This
y'all
is what you're
create,
not understanding, bro.
anything that
Viral,
y'all create, we give y'all the credit. Like, yeah, we
viral.
fuck
Check it
with
out.
this.
The
Check
same
it out.
way they try
Viral.
to say
Check it out. Let me
California
just say. Let me say this
belongs to
one thing because
Mexico. They
I
try
gotta
to say
start my
that
show.
same shit
But
as
let me
well.
say one thing, bro. Let me say one thing. This isn't something that you started. This is both of our stories of captivity that we're expressing through music and dance. So you can't go claim the fame as a single segment group, bro. You can't do that.
It's not both of our stories. This
Bro,
is
we
something
didn't. We
we
not in
created,
captivity,
and
bro.
You
y'all
We
don't.
in
You need a
nations
study,
where
bro.
your ass came
You need a
from.
Oh,
study.
now he gonna try to tell you need to study. This is not a part of your culture, bro. We can claim the fame because it comes from us. It don't come from y'all. This is the 1940s. Watch this. Watch this. Check this out right here. Here comes the judge, right? I'm gonna show you guys something from Pig Meat Markham. Check this out. Hip hop evolves, right? The styles gets better as time progresses. This is Pig Meat Markham.
Here comes the
Hit the like button. This is 1968, and I can show you the Jubilaires rapping in the 40s.
Get it, boy.
Hit that like button, you know?
I'm ready to do that thing. I don't want no tears. I don't want no lies. Above all, I don't want no alibis. This judge is hip, and that ain't all.
We've been doing this, man. I can go back to the 1940s of us breakdancing, the 1930s and 20s, rhyming, and this has nothing to do with no Latino culture. Latinos copied what they saw us doing. But this music does not come from their culture. They can't show you one video of their people doing this in the 50s, 40s, and 30s. They can't show you their people breakdancing on the floor. They can't show you the music that they made that had an urban influence in the 40s and the 50s and 60s. They can't. We've been rhyming and breakdancing way before we came in contact with them.
I'll give you time if you're big or small. Fall in line, or this coat is neat. Peace, brother. Here comes the judge. Here comes the judge.
Here come the judge.
This wall. All those cats got this to me because I am the judge and you can plainly see. Lay down the law. They better not budge.
So come on, man. We already know where this culture comes from. It's not even up for debate, man. It's not even up for debate, man. This is a ridiculous argument. This is a ridiculous argument that hip hop was created 50-50. That's one of the biggest lies ever told. This is why we went hard in the paint to destroy these lies. That's why we went hard in the paint to destroy these ridiculous lies.
I'll bust the head because I am the judge. Here comes the judge. No, chase with gin. I may be wrong, lest I miss my guess. I'll have us all out this doggone mess.
Come on, man. This is man, we've been doing this, homie. Golly, man. Anyway, man, we gonna wrap this thing up, man. I think I done did enough. You know, I gotta stand on FBA business, man, and that's what I've been doing for a very long time. Right? Africans are different from foundational Black Americans. Black Caribbeans are different from foundational Black Americans. Culturally, we are different. It is not the same. You got Black people from different countries with different cultures. So you can't lump all Black people in one box. That's why when we fight for reparations, we're fighting for reparations as foundational Black Americans in the United States of America, those of us who are direct descendants of chattel slavery. That's what we're fighting for. We're not fighting for Africans. We're not fighting for Caribbeans. They can fight their own battles. Reparations is for foundational Black Americans in the United States of America. So anyway, hit the like button. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing. FBA all day, man. You already know what to do. So peace to everybody, man. We gonna conclude this thing right here. We gonna shut it down. I think I done said enough. I done dropped enough knowledge, wisdom, and information. Giving you medication for mind innovation. And what's the medication? That is certified gang delivered by King Supreme in a major way. Jack delivering the hardcore facts. Yeah. So I'm gonna get up out of here, you guys. Shout out to the beautiful ladies. Shout out to the solid brothers. And I will be back with some more content later on.